I didn't really see it, and so when I moved out here, that's why my brain was like, I just was exploding with like inspiration and ideas because I saw it and I was like, wait, it's real. Like this isn't just like in LA, like the movies make it seem.
Welcome to 808s and Cold Takes, the show that keeps on giving. I don't know what episode we are.
11.
12.
No. 12.
12.
Yep.
I'm Max.
Braden.
Johan.
And today we have a special guest with us. Oh, rest in peace, Carlos isn't here.
Fuck you.
But instead of Carlos, we have our friend Xander Sol here. Yay!
Yeah.
Yay!
Thank you.
How are you feeling?
Good. I feel energetic. I feel good, clear-minded.
That's perfect, dude.
Yeah.
So today, we're going to basically talk about, because you told us when we talked to you the first time, you do music, we also do video.
Yes.
So we have a mix of questions for both, so we'll kind of be lily pad jumping around the whole time.
Sweet.
But essentially, we'll talk about kind of how you got started with it, how that all worked, and then we'll get into what you're doing now. We got what you're doing in the future. And we have some questions from your fans and friends and loved ones, and yeah.
Mom.
Yeah. Shout out mom.
Shout out, Mom.
We'll hop right into it. Braden, do you want to kick us off?
Yeah. So right off the bat, what came first? Your love for film or for music?
I think film. I think the first medium that I went after personally was music. But the first thing that I think got me to like want to just put myself into something was film.
Okay.
I was a big like pretending kid. Like I would like watch a movie and like for the next like 3 days after that movie, I was the main character. Like I had to be in full costume, like
Okay.
school, out of school, all of it.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember the first piece of content you watched where you were like, yeah, I want to do that?
Pirates of the Caribbean or Caribbean, however you say it. But yeah, that first one, bro. I don't know why that happened to be it. No, actually, it might have been Alice in Wonderland, but either one, it was a Johnny Depp role that I was like, whoa. Like,
Johnny Depp had a grip on everybody age 12.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
true. I was such a fan, but like it was something also about that he was so different per role. Like when I watched Alice in Wonderland, I went home and I immediately put like all the makeup and like the orange eyebrows, just because it was a different,
Got
like,
the hat.
totally different dude.
Yeah.
and I like the escapism type deal.
That's what I think's cool about Johnny Depp is because all his roles are so different and creative, it kind of really plays to a kid with a big imagination.
100%.
In that sense.
100%.
You mentioned when we talked to you again, you mentioned you started just making little YouTube videos. How would you compare, the setup of you as a little kid versus nowadays? How does that differ?
My interest at the time was different. Like I wasn't trying to be a filmmaker at all. I just really liked the fact that people could film their personalities and like that was entertaining. And I just was entertained by it. I just was watching like scooter dudes like on YouTube and was like, this is awesome. Like I'm funny and awesome. so why not? I'll try it. So
If they can do it, I can do it.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. But it was terrible. Like I used a bad camera. I didn't do anything entertaining, and I like used Filmora Wondershare to like edit. So from there to now is very different.
What kind of cheapo cam were you?
I don't even know. I have no clue. It was something from Walmart. It was like a
random.
plastic body, like little digital thing.
We had flip cams when we were little.
Oh, dude, the little
triangle?
like the white.
Yeah, there's a white and there's a black one.
Yeah.
And the later model was like a little smaller.
Yeah.
In fact, actually, if you don't mind grabbing, we got a present for you here. And maybe you can make something fun with it. But that's for
a
you.
gift, bro. Okay, hold on. Unboxing time. Hey, that's actually so crazy. What? For the camera.
Flip
That
cam.
is so
Xander,
insane,
flip
actually.
cam.
This is so crazy.
Yeah.
There is a video of just this random thing, but these cameras were important to me and my brother. There's a video of my dad lighting the entire floor of our living room on fire that just happened to get caught on this because my brother was trying to film like a trampoline video, and like right as he's leaving the front door, my dad had like been working with like lacquer thinner, and there's an outlet, and the outlet burst into flames, and it's captured on this like horrible like shaky video quality. Dude, thank you so much. That's crazy.
So
Actually.
you can make something
Thank
fun with
y'all.
that,
That
and
is so nice.
continue
Oh my gosh.
continue the journey with that.
So to jump off from that a little, who are some of your musical inspirations, cinematic, video editing that you looked up to while growing up, and how have they impacted the things you make and just your life in
For
general?
sure. Off the bat, my current like musical inspirations. I love this band called Air. They're like a French band from like the late '90s, early 2000s. all of their music kind of just sounds like espionage. Like it's like very like jazzy and like bass guitar, but there's like synths and it's like categorized as dance music, not because it has like four on the floor like house, but because it just like makes you want to wiggle.
Yeah.
So I love them. There's an artist called Louis Prince who I love as well. He's from like Nashville. And he's just got a weird grip on like it sounds stupid, it's music, but like musicality, like the way he uses instruments and moments in his songs he'll make you feel like you've gone totally like dissonant because like I don't know, he's just great with his like composing and stuff. There's like harps and all that kind of stuff in there too. But in terms of like early stuff, as I was like getting into music, I really loved the Migos, and so I was like, I'm gonna be a rapper, like it's gonna happen.
Hell yeah.
And so I started like recording rap music, which I feel shameful about, but
It's a part of life.
it's ever goes through.
We were all there in 2015.
That's what it was, bro. It's a
2016,
sickness. It was just like I need to do it.
Yeah.
So as that was going on, like the beats were expensive, so I was like, I'll start making them. So I was looking up YouTube videos of like how to make beats, and I came across Aries. And he's like an artist as well, but at the time he was just making like how to make a beat in 2 minutes things, and I liked.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, I would learn how to do it off those, but then that guy started dropping music, and I also was like, wait, like it's hip hop, but it's electronic, but it's also like cool, like it feels really cool to listen to. So
Yeah.
I feel like for a while I started to sort of like emulate as best as I could that style. And then as that went, I discovered the lack of personal identity that was in it, and it started to sort of like I had to like pull it out of there and then put it into like something else. You know what I'm saying?
And then when it came to the video stuff, did you have it?
Yeah, my inspirations for that were I don't know. Honestly, like I don't like editing style. I really love Braxton Upon is a local he goes by B-Wax. He makes a lot of music videos. He did one early on, but his style of editing was very much what I was into. That Aries guy, his music videos were also like edited this way. So when it comes down to like music video editing style, I definitely like took after that. And there's a guy named Uncle Luke too who did the Lamborghini High music video.
Yeah. Yep.
Dude, it's crazy. I love like data moshing and like that whole
that
like
shit was
over editing. I'm super into
all those Rocky videos.
Yeah, exactly. Like
Praise the
all
Lord,
exactly.
the TVs and
Totally. So I feel like that. In terms of like filmmakers, though, I can't pretend like I'm a guy who's like got my my favorite director and whatever. I love Christopher Nolan. Like, bro, makes me feel like, and I'm just into it.
it's all about the vibes, dude.
Yeah, for
It's
sure.
about the vibes. Do you still, when it comes to making the music, you still produce it all yourself?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And I think it's like gotten more and more like real, like as it's gone on, where it's like I've always been producing my own beats and stuff, but for a while it was kind of like, hell yeah, this is a good sample, and I'll do like the 808s and like the drums on it. But as it's gone on, obviously, like okay, like I want to be the start point for like every sound.
you play the instruments and whatnot.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I'm not very good at like guitar, piano, but I can play them for recordings. Like,
Sure.
I couldn't get on a stage, but if I've
All you
got
need is
like
a loop.
8 hours
Yeah.
to like just keep getting the same part down, I'm fine.
yeah. Word, dude.
So being such a visual person, is there a certain media industry that takes precedence right now that you're like really trying to gun for first? Or is it kind of just like whatever happens, like I'll do either music or film?
I kind of feel like I end up being on the latter. Like I love both, and I'm very much just like passionate about both of them for different reasons. And honestly, I just feel like I'm waiting for something to like click, like something to resonate where I'm like, that's it. Because like right now I love both, but there's like there's this middle ground that I like feel like there's going to be a marriage of the two. That's where I land, but I couldn't put words to it. So I feel like I'm just kind of like waiting, seeing what kind of has.
When we started, we were originally just going to be on audio, and then that was like going to be our mission forever. And we were like, there's going to be a podcast where we just talk about music. But
Well, it's hard. Like you said, I'm a visual person. So it's like when every time, this is again one of those moments where once I started to like actually be a part of the music from like start to finish, my brain, I'm a visual person. I'm not like a sonic person. So I'm not like in my dreams like hearing like melodies and stuff that I have to like get out.
Do you see words?
Yeah, I see words and
world?
shapes and colors, and I'm colorblind, but I still like see like,
Oh, wow.
you know what I'm saying? And it's not like black and white. It's just like whatever.
How do you... My dad is colorblind, and I know there's different types of colorblind. How do you describe being colorblind to somebody who doesn't understand it?
I call it like color confused. It's like, and it's super funny because it's like you can like unveil it, but pretty much it feels like I have a filter where certain greens and reds are the same, blues and purples are the same, pinks and grays are the same, sometimes yellows and greens are the same. Like there's like little like, it's almost like if you were to put everything on a black and white, if on a grayscale they were close in shade, I'll be able to confuse them. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay.
Like a purple and a blue, if you do black and white, they'll both be darker. So I can like almost, my brain.
Okay.
Oh,
But if I'm
okay.
told what it is, I like my brain recognize. There's this one time I was growing up, we had this drill, like a power drill, and it was, to me, for my whole life, it was the yellow power drill. I never had to like tell them that, but that's just, it was a yellow power drill. And one day my dad's like, go get the green one. And I walk out there and I was like, bro, there's no green drill. And he's like, this one. And it like before my eyes like shifted color to being green. And I was like,
the chameleon drill.
yeah, I was like, this is crazy. So and now it's been green like forever since then in my mind. It's so
That's
weird.
trippy.
Is there anything like? Do you have a? I know some colorblind. Like my dad sees a lot of red. So do you have any colors that you just see a lot of?
A lot of? I don't think so. That's a cool question. I don't know if I've ever taken note of like prominent colors that I see, but I know colors that I feel like I can see well are orange. Like that's my favorite color because I feel like it's hard for me to confuse it.
Word.
I'm kind of like that's always like orange.
Word.
Trustworthy.
That's what
Kind of back on track when it comes to balancing your passions. Where do you find a middle ground to balance your passion?
Once I started directing my own videos, I felt like I like had it. Like I felt like that's what I needed.
You can make the song and then just
because I'm particular, and like I said, I'd worked with B-Wax before, but it was a really interesting thing for me because it's like I trust that dude's instincts and I trust what he's going for, but I still had like. I felt like I was almost like white knuckling at the end of the process. Not because of anything with the process with him, but once I watched it, I was like, I would have done things differently, but I don't know what they are. And then I went to film school, and then I started like learning my own like skills with it. And once I came back to direct my own video, I was like, wait, this is like what I intended to do that first time around. Yeah. I'm doing it this time.
Did you graduate?
I did. I graduated in April.
A lot of people don't.
Yeah.
Congrats.
I did. I wasn't going to. Every year, I would like call somebody close to me and be like, "This is it."
Yeah,
like I'm not finishing.
Our camera guy Evan, who helps us with
shout out
whenever
Evan.
we do anything, because we are idiots, dude. We're when it comes to
audio people.
We're audio people.
Don't know
we can run circles with audio all day. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing with the camera most of the time, but like the. When Evan went to film school and he dropped out. Yeah. And I was like, I feel like a lot of people just drop out.
Here's my 2 cents on film school. My experience was that I met somebody and like a group of people who I loved and who felt the way that I do about film. And so we banded together, and it sort of became one of those things where it's like the resources of the school, the teachers, it wasn't like they were just bad, but they weren't what I felt like I needed. And instead, I found these people that were like kind of what I needed. Okay. And it was almost like school became just like an excuse to have a requirement to make something. It was like we had a due date for a film. We bombed the rubric because the rubric sucked, but we made something that we thought was like tight. And then we ended up like actually getting real paying jobs off of like doing that. You know what I'm saying? So it was more important to like
good networking opportunities there.
Yeah, yeah. And I haven't like, it wasn't like I met people who were like deep industry, but it was just other creative people who like, I'm a detail oriented guy, and I met people who were like that, which was good.
Nice, dude.
That's good. So, when it comes to making music and creating video, how do you go about tackling each of them?
Music happens different, I feel like, every time. I feel like I have less grasp on how to make it happen. Like video, I'll say it like this. When I'm making a film or like a video or a music video, I know I can see it, I can feel it, and I can revise it all in my mind, and I know what to do. And then I start drawing. I do storyboards for everything, and then I start to talk to my Sam. He's my cinematographer, and then we start talking about how we're actually going to do it. With music, it's like I just am doing my reps every day. So I'm like always making like at least a beat every day, every other day, something like that. And then sometimes something happens where it's just like I'm in the session and like, oh, I should try this thing. I should try recording. And then it's just happened where it's like I feel like I'm like a 9 songs per year type guy where it's like I make 100, but 9 of them are worth my time. Right, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it always, I think they come accidentally and usually after a season that I'm not super aware of, but I am like hyper emotional or something. Yeah. And I'll start writing and it'll just like happen. Like, oh, that's a song. That's crazy.
So on that subject, what are your biggest challenges then with both making movies and with making music as well?
Film is money. Like, it is such an expensive medium to, like, that sounds kind of silly, but I mean it. Like, there's a lot of times where it's like we're coming up with a video idea, or we just had some people pitch us a video idea that we were super, super hyped about, and it was only hard because, like, half of the video is outside at night. And, like, again, my thing with film is, like, anyone can get a camera, but, like, to make... The whole thing with like the film medium is that you're like psychologically making people forget they're watching a film, like because it looks like real life, and so part of that is putting lights up in the trees to fake the moonlight, the color, and like and the color and all of it, and the placement and getting actors and having people shoot overnight, like all of that alone is just like a couple $1,000s. So it just becomes like, oh darn it, like we need a budget, and I don't got that, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like definitely when it comes to my limits on film, it's like I need to have either a budget or like be really creative with my approach. which has always ended up being a good thing. Like when we don't have money and we have to figure out a way around it, that's like I did this music video where I wanted a plane crash, and I have a homie who does VFX, and he could have done the plane crash, but like I couldn't afford it, so I just like learned how to do the hand drawn animation myself.
Damn.
So I could, like, so like that was kind of like a limitation that brought about something that I think was more like stylistic and cool.
Do you prefer it a lot of the time to go that way? Where it kind of makes you think more out of the box.
Definitely, because once I finish it, I have this whole new like tool belt. Like I finished that video and like I literally learned like 5 or 6 new skills that I have like been using pretty much consistently since then now too.
That's cool.
So that's cool. And the music, I don't know. I think I've been getting really into like mixing my own stuff recently, but it definitely is like it can be sort of difficult because I don't trust myself. So my crutch is always that I have to like, once I write the album, it's like now I got to go shop it off to get it like mixed with somebody else. And right now Jude Kellen has been helping me mix my last one, which has been really fun. Like we've had a good relationship sort of bloom because of just like punching around in the studio all the time. But it's tough not being able to, like, I'm the start and finish point for pretty much all the rest of my art. So for music to have this like final stop with somebody else can sometimes just be like workflow wise, I gotta slow down at that last bit.
Yeah, but it is weird having, because we did videos for Mosh Pig Market.
Oh yeah,
Studio 22, and we didn't have to, like, we made the videos, but we didn't release them. And that was a weird feeling of being like, oh, someone else published our content.
Yes.
Like, it kind of in a similar sense where I was just like,
and somebody else touching it can be kind of nerve wracking.
Yeah.
It's really important to find people that you trust for that reason. Like I have tried to work with other mix engineers before. I've never had a bad experience, but I've had experiences where I was just like, I know I could put to words what needs to change, but I couldn't put onto the knobs with my own hands what needs to change. So it's very frustrating because I'm like, no, like it needs to be more like and a little bit of and they're like, what do you mean? You know what I'm saying?
That's I'm the opposite, because I have a horrible time with putting things to words, but I'm just like, all right, just move and I'm going to do it. And then you do exactly what I just did.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what I want.
For sure.
So, wow. But I mean, speaking of
Jude Kellen, how did that relationship come about? Like, how'd you guys meet, and how'd you get into like the local music scene as well?
Okay, so I'm from Colorado.
Okay.
I'm born and raised Colorado. I moved out here 4 years ago, and that was for school. And while I was in school, I like didn't have really any awareness of like what music stuff was happening in Phoenix. But I got introduced to FOMO, Fear of Making Out, through BWAX after we did that music video together. Cool. So we did a video, and we were talking, and he was just kind of putting me on. He was like, "Hey, there's all this stuff going on." He invited me to a FOMO show actually, where FOMO was opening for Felly. And
cool.
It was just crazy. It was an awesome show. Like I thought it was like I had a great time. I was so moved by their music, and like they were doing the thing that I had been like watching on my phone of being like, this would be awesome if I could do this one day. So to see them do it, I was like, oh wait, it's here. And, so whatever, that was just like one of those moments we were kind of like aware of each other now. And as time went on, Jude actually just posted something where he was like, I'm trying to mix. And so I sent him, I had like a 4-song project at the time, and I sent that to him, and then he mixed it. It was awesome. We had a good time. I went to a couple sessions with him. And then we just sort of stayed in touch, and around like November of this last year, we'll laugh about it because it's just a weird thing, but he like called me and was like, yo, like, he like wanted to get dinner or something, and we went to PF Chang's, which was awesome. It was like an empty PF Chang's, which was like a really weird vibe to walk into.
There you go.
But he just kind of, I think at the time he was sharing what he was thinking about with their space, like the studio side of things, and I have always enjoyed sort of like sharing the skills that I have, and I'm not like a great graphic designer, but I can run it, if I need to. And so I was just sort of offering to like help him where he needed. And then I think just through this last year, 2024 is definitely just like, we both we kind of like trade now. It's like he mixes for me. I'll like help him out with his videos for either his own stuff or the studio. But it's just sort of, I think we both trust each other's like instincts, and we're both very detail oriented people as well. So another one of those things where when I started mixing with him, like he was a very less is more type mix engineer, and everyone else I had worked with was like, let's compress it till it blows the beat and it's gonna be awesome. But he was turning everything down first, and I was like, what? It just was different to me. So
it's cool seeing that guy live, because you just see it like you see it predicting in his head, just like he kind of what you were saying earlier about like when you watch people and you watch how they like the instrumentation of things and how they just have it so figured out.
Yeah.
And when he's on stage, like even the other night when he's just slamming the piano,
yeah, it's
I'm like,
awesome.
that feels like it's on purpose.
Well, and what he also did for me, especially this last year, is like music had not been a like personal energetic thing to me yet. Like he very much introduced the like capture the moment, like you gotta like let it sort of build up in you first before you put it down, and there is like a sort of magic to like the recording moment. And just I had never had that. We were finishing this album that I have right now, and it's like he actually played drums on it, and it was kind of fun because it was like that was the first time.
I was just gonna ask if he played in your sessions too.
Yeah. So that's kind of how it happened. Is he did like drumming in the recording sessions, and then he just knew the parts, and it was like I was coming up on a show, and we just like worked out for him to be drummer.
What's like the most fun that you've had shooting a video?
Swing and a miss for sure. That was like because there was a sequence where we went in a plane, and that was just a crazy moment because we were planning this music video, and it was like a meme that I like brought up. Like it's a meme that every time I give Sam an idea, he has to like talk me down. Because I'll be like, it should be in a plane. And he's like, okay. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, totally. So, but this was one of those moments where I made the joke and he was like, I met a guy at a bar. And it was like such a, like, everything timed. And so we hit up this guy. His name's Curran, and he's awesome. And we just like went and met up with him at an airstrip. And he was just so knowledgeable. He's like our age. He's like 25. He's like training to like be an instructor. So he had to do some hours with other people. Wow. But he was sick because he was like, dude, you guys can't even pay me. He was like, we're just like, I'm doing this with you guys and whatever. So we went up in this plane and he was just like explaining everything of how it works. And I was like pretending to be learning about aerodynamics. And weirdest part was when you're in a small prop plane like that, it will drift like this while you're still flying forward. So like you'll see the nose start to shape this way, but you're still, and it was so
I was going to say,
unnerving.
what's the difference between being in a plane that small versus
you feel the air, it's very obvious that you're just in like an air car, like the whole thing is rattling and there's wind coming in through the cracks in the doors, and like I said, you can feel it drift, and there was a few times where we had no clue this was on the plate, but we're like up in the sky and he's like, y'all want to feel some G's? And he would just shut off the engine and we're like,
I don't want to feel something.
Yeah, we didn't sign up for this.
No, goddamn.
Totally. So, but it was awesome. Like, that was just such a bizarre like thing to do. And there's just moments like the stuff that ended up being in the video was like we didn't really have too much of a plan. Like we filmed that sequence, and the rest of the video we filmed like almost 3 months later. So it's like it was like right place, right time to do this plane thing. So we're like we have to do it, and just a lot of weird magic stuff happened.
I'm terrified of flying, dude. That shit.
I saw that video and I was like, oh my god, dude.
It was there's definitely moments I can remember in life where it's like I put like the blinders on because I'm a very like cautious person. I don't like roller coasters, like all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And there's times in life that I can remember where I've just been like, no, I'm gonna do it, and it ends up being awesome. I come out the other side and I'm like, I'm so glad I
felt some G's, man.
Yeah, I felt some G's. Totally. I've never felt G's in my life, and I don't know if I will, but like again,
I don't think I ever need to again.
Yeah, that was fine. That's funny.
So, bouncing off from that, who are some of your current favorite artists that you listen to now, and how do they differentiate a bit from what you listen to?
Oh, okay. Air, again, they've been like my biggest recent one, and for the same reason, like I said before, the music feels cool to me. I love the espionage feeling. I'm so sneaky and classy, and like all that stuff is great. I just got like super into Veronica Everhart, like. Oh, cool. Been up on her for a while, but I literally just reached out last night and was like, this is blowing my mind. Like, I love the fusion. Big fan of The Help as well. Who else? In comparison to what I used to listen to, I just was like a big rap head, like all growing up. Like, me and my brother were just big. Like, I mean, honestly, all of it. Like, I just feel like we were sort of enveloped in that style of music. And as I got older, it was just, I think my... what things I was interested in talking about, even with friends, changed. And so it was like the music that I was entertained by also changed. Just like lyrically, I feel like I just kind of ended up in the...
I feel that.
You know what I'm saying?
Little back to the video side of things. What do you think is your favorite music video of all time?
Oh, crazy. Hold on, let me think. The first one that comes to mind, I'm just going to say this one for time's sake. And I'm actually forgetting the name of it. So it's kind of like a boring thing to say, but there's this one where it's like this, the rapper's like the main character, and next to him, he's got this like weird like beast thing with this like ugly ass nose. And like the video starts where they're in like a Chinese restaurant, and they like go out the front door and they just get like shot with like machine guns. And like, it's crazy. Like, it's just like they use like really clever like VFX and practical effects to make this like gross looking like monster thing.
Like a Muppet?
Kind of, yeah, it feels like a Muppet. It feels like that weird, like it feels real, but it's also like fake. And And as the video goes on, you kind of get this like it's a second him. It's kind of the ugly side or maybe the tough side or something. And
Damn.
yeah, I loved it just because they had done such a creative job of. It's a very simple video too. There's like 3 locations and it's shot like 4:3, very like A24 vibe. Yeah, that one. I don't know who it's by or what it's called, but somebody with the gross thing next to him.
Find it.
Crazy.
We'll do what we can. It made me think
How did
of
you find that? Was it just like on YouTube and you just saw it? Or like-
Sam is a big Vimeo guy, and so he's just always looking at the staff picks, and that was definitely one of them.
Damn.
It made me think of the sugar video. Doesn't the by Brockhampton?
Yeah.
Doesn't it have like some weird fucker in the beginning of it?
Yes. Yeah, Brockhampton video is also very inspiring. Those are like videos to me that are very good at like the energy capture side, where it's like what happened in them is less like super methodical editing and post production, and more of just like on camera. It's just like that moment was being like caught. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that's sick too.
So
That's awesome.
what's been a song or video that's brought you the most joy after making?
Of mine.
Yes.
Swing and Miss again is up there. That was so many milestones for me. Like on song wise, like I'm just so proud of like the way that the song came together instrumentally. Like what I'm singing about is also cool. Just tangent on that because I think it's fun. Swing and Miss is like supposed to be a double entendre thing of like pendulum swinging, like how in life we go through change and oftentimes we overcorrect, so we kind of end up too far on one side. And then also just the idea of like taking an opportunity, swinging and missing, and how that's also part of life, but there's this sort of duality. So the song is this sort of like anxious, awkward person talking about how they're I don't know, getting ready to go to like a social gathering and then doubting themselves the whole time, and instead of just like maybe growing up, they overcorrect and are like, no one cares and this doesn't matter, and it just is too much, you know.
Is there anything that you've made that you think was a swing and a miss?
Yeah, I deleted a lot of it. I have been releasing music on the internet since I was a freshman in high school. So there's been a lot of mistakes that I've made in doing that, and nothing terrible, just stuff that I'm like, that's not like what I want to have under my like Xander Sol name. I have another artist account on Spotify that I was like making lo-fi beats when I was early in high school, and 2 of them, because I did like a Shiloh Dynasty sample, and 2 of them made like a playlist. And so I was so hyped because I was like 16 and had like 100,000 streams and was like, and it never happened again. I like, it wasn't because my beats were good, it's because I used a feature. Yeah.
Oh man, bro.
XXX just dropped. What was the first one called?
The Wish Shiloh. He had a bunch
Yeah,
of
yeah,
Shiloh
it was,
Dynasty
but that was the thing. I felt so sick because it was before that.
Yeah.
Oh, it was before? Okay,
I had
shit.
gotten up on Patsu, their producer who'd used a lot of Shiloh Dynasty, and I was like, I can do it too.
Damn. He knew the vision before.
Did Shiloh ever show his face? Or
No, I think they
Or-
passed low key, and I think that's like low key why I was like kind of like crazy. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that they had already been passed at the time. But I'm not sure. Don't take my word.
Shiloh, if you're out there.
Sorry, I stole.
Yeah.
I got a copyright strike like 2 months ago in the song. I had 2 of them, and they gave me 1 copyright strike, which is tough.
No, Shiloh.
We already have a copy strike.
Speaking of-
unfortunately.
Yeah, we have some of those too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
that's
we've
my
definitely
fault.
gotten those.
It's the best.
Because we're
man.
so used to audio content where you can play whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah,
you
totally.
can
It's
say
like,
whatever.
and
It's
we're
not the
like,
same.
we just play YG song on the mic for like 20 minutes, and it's like, well, I'm gonna take down your video because you can't do that. What? You know, so.
Speaking of your new single, "Swing and a Miss," congrats by the way.
Thank you.
With that being out now, are we expecting another full length project with that single?
Yeah. I'm actually dropping a song on Wednesday of this next week.
Okay.
And I've been trying to prioritize like the super short rollout per thing, because I just don't feel the need to like tease anybody about anything at this current point in my career. You know what I mean?
Alright.
So I'm dropping a song on Wednesday, and then I'm finishing this album right now, and my brain is saying January.
Okay.
So it's a 9-song thing, and it's really organic sounding, lots of live instruments. I'm super excited about it. I feel like I'm talking about stuff that is the most real. Like I had to do the least amount of projecting to make the lyrics come out. You know what I'm saying? It was just like that was my actual thoughts at the moment that I wrote the songs, and so I've just been excited to like finish them and package that.
That's awesome.
I mean, 9 songs a year, man. You gotta, like you said,
Will those be your 9 songs of the year?
Yeah. Well, they have been
January?
because I wrote. Well, it's funny. I wrote those in 2023, October, November, and then I wrote the single that's coming out on Wednesday in like January of this year.
Okay.
And I've written demos and stuff just for, like I said, I'm still doing my reps and stuff elsewise, but like those were the songs, and I knew it once I finished Structure, which is the one that comes out on Wednesday. Once I finished that, I was like, okay, project's done. And I feel like 2024 has been like finishing that, getting myself locked in with like what video stuff I want to do. And then, yeah.
You said, the question I had written down, we kind of talked about already, so I'm going to go a different direction. But you talked a little bit about being in Colorado, being from Colorado. How would you say music, media, arts differ being over there than it does here? And what do you think you'll stay here, or do you think you're going to go back over there?
Oh, good question. I don't think that I'm like a great representative of the Colorado art scene because I never got involved. I just never saw it. I think it's mostly in Denver. I was in Colorado Springs, so it's like an hour and a half south.
Yeah.
And I didn't try to put myself in a spot where I would find it. So like personal responsibility there. I never really tried, but like I didn't really see it. And so when I moved out here, that's why my brain was like, I just was exploding with like inspiration and ideas because I saw it and I was like, wait, it's real. Like this isn't just like in LA, like the movies make it seem.
Yeah.
But what did happen in Colorado was just like, I feel like I had so much free time and I had like a really safe town that I grew up in. So I was like always like on foot, like walking around getting ices and like picking my nose and stuff. And so, I feel like with that in mind, when I started making art, I was very safe and I had no like mental like strain of like, I have to be an artist and release this stuff. That stuff only got introduced, I feel like, at the proper timing. Like, I was like 18, 19, 20, starting to think about releasing and being that guy. And then I had a safe childhood. Felt very...
I'm glad that Phoenix opened up your, like, opened your mind to being,
that's
doing
cool to
more.
hear.
Because, like, usually people say that when they go to, like, the big cities, like LA, Chicago.
It's definitely perspective where I'm like, I hear a lot of people who are like, I got to get out of here. I'm like, where are you born? They're like, here. I'm like, oh, right. Because it's always grass is greener. You know what I'm saying? Like, people I know who've moved to Colorado, who grew up elsewhere, like, this place is like magic, like huge mountains and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's just not that, that's how it is. It's normal to have that perspective where it's just like you're used to somewhere. So you feel like you've dried up its resources and maybe you have, and now it's time to go somewhere else. But
Yeah.
I feel like I will end up staying in Phoenix until called elsewhere by something.
I was gonna say if you were ever gonna go to, like what he said, where it's like all the film stuff's in LA or New York. Like if you find your way over there.
My two out of those, I'm going to New York if I can. Like that is the direction and like the tone I think of like art and work that comes out of the two is not better or worse, but are different. And I aim
totally.
towards the east side.
I've never even thought about that before, but that's so true.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, shout out the East Coast.
Shout out the East Coast, man.
Sure. Are there any genres of music that you want to try to experiment with? And if so, is there anything in the works that you have?
Yeah, I keep talking about this. This is like the Air fan episode. But seriously, like as I'm listening to the music, I'm like, there's something deep inside me that resonates with this and is like capable of this. But like still with my own little Xander spin on it and kind of approaching it differently. But I love the idea of like, I'm going to finish this album, have a good time. And the next one, I would love to think about if each song was like 50-50 lyrics and music, where it's like a song has a chorus that's just instrumental because I'm focusing enough on the instrumental and musical side of things.
Yeah,
that like
almost like the live or like the MTV live albums.
Yeah. Like I would just love to approach a sound that is like very, very like musically focused and like lyrics are there to enhance what is already being done.
Yeah, it's like your voice is like one of the instruments.
Yeah, because I very much, like I said, like I grew up and started in the space of like music being the relationship between the beat and the vocal on top of it versus like music and the singer who's like expanding on.
That's kind of how I've always kind of been that way with music too. Like I will never remember lyrics, but I will always remember, I know that song because I heard that little guitar lick at this one part. Like that's how I recognize as compared. Like I feel like a lot of people I know, they're like, how do you not remember that line? I'm like, well, I remember the melody.
Yeah.
But
for sure.
I think some of the best artists are the ones that's like the best form of music, in my opinion, is people like, I mean, do you know Blood Orange?
Yeah.
Like Blood Orange does that a lot.
Right.
I think a lot of the older like jazz blues artists, because instruments was such a big thing. Love nowadays does it so well.
Yep.
It's a beautiful art form. Complete tone shift.
Yeah.
This next question. You were an early YouTube child.
Yeah.
And you made a lot of videos.
Uh-huh.
Did you ever get into the stop motion
I did.
Lego shit?
Yes, and just yesterday, actually, my dad sent me this Google Drive with like all of our like childhood like photos and stuff.
way, bro.
And I found like the stills. I made so many of them. Like I made so many Lego stop motion movies and about like everything under the sun. Yes, God, that's such a good question. I never.
I was always a viewer. I never really got hands on with much like that, but like Forest Fire 101.
Oh my gosh,
Romaniac.
this is crazy. That was like the nuttiest question you could have asked.
Yeah,
100%.
Because it hits really close to home because I collect Lego. I have a very large.
That's awesome.
Large Lego collection at my home.
That's dope.
And that's one of the first things we ever really clicked on was like the Lego stop motion. And last night I was laying in bed and I'm like, you know what?
Bro,
I wonder if you ever, I feel like people always
this
do.
This is such a funny like full circle thing. But again, like when it came to me being like, I'll animate the plane crash thing, I had never done anything besides Lego stop motion. So I knew that my brain could process what it means to do frame by frame movement and that kind of thing. So that's so funny. But yeah, like actually I do think that was probably my first experience with like animation and all that kind of stuff.
What kind of themes are we talking?
Dude, I love Doctor
Wars
Who.
guy,
I was a big Doctor Who guy.
Oh, word.
So I was the 11th Doctor, but like in Lego form. Damn. And he was doing all kinds of awesome stuff.
I was gonna say which Doctor is your favorite?
Definitely the 11th. Like that's what I got into, and then I had a really a good affinity for the 10th. But those two were just kind of like my picks.
Which one was David Tennant? Is that 11?
10.
10?
Yeah.
10 and 11.
Matt Smith was the 11th.
Yeah. I like the one with the scarf.
Yeah.
It's one of the earlier ones.
Yeah, he's
like the colorful scarf and the weird hat. But that's what we have prepared. We have questions from your fans and your friends. The bros have
homies.
questions. Some are strange, but you know.
That's helping, dude.
I think it'll be fun.
I sicked him on you. I said, "Give me stupid."
Yeah.
First question, and this is from Scott Shots. Is that what it is? Scott Shots at Scott Shots. Scott wants to know what Xander's 5-step plan is for taking over the world.
Oh, first manipulation of weak people, and second is changing currency to have my face on it.
Okay.
Third would be all electric cars.
Everyone remembers you.
Yeah. Fourth would be I want to open a big, I want to tunnel through the core of the earth so it's shaped like a donut.
Whoa.
And then
That one's
fifth
crazy.
is create all of the society inside the donut so that the external of the earth can die with like the atmosphere, but the inside could be like my living world.
Do you think there are people underground? Like how they'd be talking?
Oh,
Dude, that would be
movie.
so
Journey of the
crazy.
Century.
Yeah, I love that. Is such a fun idea because it's scary, but it'd also be kind of sick to like be like excavating and be like, "There's more."
Holy shit! There's
That'd be so
there's
crazy.
a whole
Yeah.
family down here.
My sister was just saying that there was like a bunch of articles coming out where apparently aliens are in the ocean or something, and they're like
Nice.
finding UFOs or some shit.
Yo, I am all about the ocean being a weird spot. Cause
Oh,
like
that-
even like when you talk
we
about
haven't- we
creation
haven't-
and stuff, it's like
I
haven't
believe
been to
5% 5% of the ocean's only been explored,
Yeah.
and there's still like
yeah, it's
I don't know,
crazy,
man.
dude. There's so much stuff that's unknown, and like, why is it there? And like, in the sense
Yeah.
of like, if this place was made by something, why did it need to make the ocean too? Like, it's a really weird,
Why
like,
is the ocean-
this is a crazy science experiment.
yeah,
I'm completely on board with that. This one's from Brock Vignery. Brock Vignery says, "You're making an album with a time traveling T-Rex. What's the first track sound like?"
Oh, well, it's an intro, so it's like I feel like I'm doing more world building than I am like introducing like great song parts. So I feel like it's gonna have like jungle sound. Wait, it's a time traveling.
Doctor Who.
Dude, I just feel like I need to pitch like how that is like actually what the album's about because maybe the songs are gonna sound different and maybe have just story and stuff. But this first
that's
one
actually
is
pretty
just like it's like audio theater, so there's like jungle noises.
Oh, shit.
And then you feel this growl behind your head, and then there's footsteps, and then you hear a click, like it clicked out, like I stepped on a button or something, like a high pitched like beep noise, and then a big like explosion as it's getting time traveled, and then bam, loud city noises, and then the growl, and then the screams of the people, and then the first track starts.
Wow,
Jurassic Park
That's like
meets
Jurassic
Doctor
Park
Who.
2.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you just got
Everybody's
dumped
in
into the
San
city.
Diego.
Totally, exactly.
Hell yeah.
Where/when was your first show? What do you remember from that? And that's from @Johnny Hayes.
Word. My first show was actually on campus at my college. There was like it's called Midnight Breakfast. It's like just like an event that they do like once a semester where they like cater a bunch of stuff at midnight. And they had performers one year, and my friend was like part of the like school cabinet, school board, whatever thing. And he invited me to do it, and it was a ton of fun. I did like I think I did 2 songs. It was really short, and the sound guy sucked, and like all the videos are so funny because you can't hear the music. It's just people going, hey. But I had a bunch of buddies who were like trying to like hype it up, and like when it's a school thing like that, I feel like the herd mentality kicks in super hard. So no one cares if it's even good. Everyone's like, So it was very validating for me to like go up there and do these 2 crappy like high school songs and the whole thing be moving. It was a good time.
How often do you perform?
Not often at all. I've performed 4 times, I think.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's definitely like on the 2025 goals. I want to like be outside with it like super hard because I feel like I'm gonna have this album and it sounds in a way where it totally should be played in front of people to like have the full thing.
Stuff to get out.
Yeah.
Stuff to show.
That's the next kind of trajectory. I feel like.
Word.
All right. This one is from Tim Jules, Snowman.
Snowman.
Goat
Stowe
director.
That's all I said.
Goat director. Question mark. Question mark.
He's asking like.
Yeah. Also, well, I'm sure he's probably
he's telling
also
you too.
complimenting
Bro,
you as
yeah,
well.
I literally just hit him about doing a video. That's so funny. Goat director. Hold on. Let me think.
Who to go?
I just confirmed there was a question mark there, but
Yeah, there was. I already.
double entendre.
Yeah, who's to say?
We know that's
No,
a
Who's
just
to
look
say?
at your sheet.
Tim Jules is the guy.
Denis Villeneuve, is that how you say his name?
Oh, Jesus. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure it's Denis. He did hold on.
can look it up.
Hold on. Yeah, I'm about to Google.
That's all you.
Denis Villeneuve, I think it's how you say it.
Shout out Evan. He's on that. He's been talking about him in the GOAT convo.
Really?
We went and saw Dune 2, and he was like, people gotta open their eyes.
No, it's like because he's that way. Like he did this movie called Sicario, and it's like the craziest, like just the way I can feel how my head felt pressed when I watched the movie because it was so like,
Damn. That's
like I felt so stressed
Like the
and he was
tension?
so good at like yeah.
That's how I felt the
think
first time I watched it.
I'll have to watch. I've heard good things about Sakara. I've only seen out of those. I've only seen Blade Runner, but
Yeah.
I liked it. So.
Well, he's also one of those guys where I feel like everyone has like artistic convictions and things, and one of my like classic things that gets me excited is just when something is big and epic and has that droning synth tone. And so a lot of his movies like Blade Runner, like Dune, have that big opening shot where you see the epic city and there's this like
It's a lot of world building.
It's great. Like I just think that is such a sick
Yeah.
film only feeling. Like you can't get that anywhere any other medium than film where you introduce the big world and everyone's like, oh my god, like
He has that. 'Cause he does Prisoners too.
Yes.
Have you seen Prisoners?
No.
Holy
That movie is
shit,
crazy.
that movie's scary.
Same feeling of like, oh, this is so the worst
there's that
situation.
scene where they got the guy and he's hitting the sink with the hammer, and it's just like you're just like, oh my god, dude.
Yeah.
This shit is brutal. It's
Yeah.
a brutal watch, but I definitely get that feeling in the Dune movies, like with the worms and shit.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
being
it's
like,
huge. The scale of things, the theatrics, like he's one of those guys who's like using theater and cinema to its like full extent.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
that is they're not wasting any time.
Yeah.
Getting to the big stuff.
See what we got here. Oh god. So this isn't a question, this is more of an accusation. Xander shot my brother at a bar in March of 2017. This is from Nikolai Exe.
Yo! Okay, just for the sake of like his name being here, Nikolai is like absolutely one of the greatest people who's ever been on this planet. I just want to say this.
Shout out Nikolai.
Dude
Who to
has
go?
literally
Who to
put
go?
on so much for me. He was the first, or I don't know if you guys asked this earlier, but like he's the first dude who did like a music video for me. And like this was like 4 or 5 years ago, and like since then he's become super tapped in as like a VFX artist. Like he's working on big projects all the time. Don Tolliver, like Travis Scott, all this stuff.
That's awesome.
And he is just he's just a nice, genuine, kind person. He still lives in my hometown in Colorado.
Wow.
And he is still like, I'm doing sound design, like video work, like as a job nowadays. And he is just always like sending me stuff, like always trying to put people on and like.
So in exchange, you shot his brother.
Yeah. Well, that's like why, like it's just kind of like we owe each other type thing. You know what I mean? So it's like his brother was annoying. We got him out of the way. And now it's like, yeah.
God damn. Yeah. Man.
Oh my god.
That's quite the accusation.
That's so awesome, bro. It's so funny, man.
For a second, I thought you were about to say that he meant like you were filming him.
Yeah.
No, he was filming the shot.
Yeah. Through a scope.
Yeah.
No, totally unrelated to the killing of his
yeah.
brother. He's just a nice guy. So it was unfortunate.
Yeah, Jesus.
Oh, fuck. All right. When are we gonna finally make a song together? And that's from Ouija.
Oh, dude. Whenever. I feel like we keep saying this. Like this is probably like the 10th time that we've been like,
Let's go, man.
And then, like, it's no reason other. Well, actually, this is just so you know, man, as well. I haven't like produced for other people in like over a year. I was doing that for a while, and like I said earlier, it's like music for me is such a like blows up, and I'm like, whoa, I made a song that's amazing, and now I can't wait to use my like totally intact visual side to finish it out.
Yeah.
So when it came to like producing for other people, I've always felt really frustrated because my initial reaction would always be like, how can I remix what they're trying to do? Like, it's not a good thing to do as a producer. Like, they're trying to bring me a good like acoustic song, and I'm like, yeah, but we could do like D&B break right here, and it's not helpful, and it's not what they need. And so, yeah, I feel like I just like I told a few artists who I had been collaborating with like a couple months ago. I told them, which was a weird thing to do, but I think it was good for everyone involved, that I was like, I'm gonna take a break from this actually, and like music is just gonna be my thing for now, and video is gonna be other people's thing. Like that's the part that I serve other people with, is like I give that part of myself to other people because I can do it consistently. I can't give myself full-heartedly with music all the time.
Sure.
So with that being said, if I should just send him beats. I had beats I could send him. No, honestly.
Set it up.
Yeah. Do you ever when you are in the studio in that position with other people?
Yeah.
Is that challenging for you as
when I'm in the
creative?
position of I'm gonna finish your song, yes. But when it's in the position of like we're gonna make something, it's just sick. Like I have a good time with that when it's just like we're getting stuff out on the table.
Sure.
But most of the situations I've been in with other artists has been like, yo, I have this song, I would love to get it produced. And we sit down and my brain is listening to it and like being like, well, what if it had all this? And I think naturally, as a lot of these artists too are not like developed artists who are like coming to me with this project. They're like homies who are like trying to get into
let's just
it,
make
and
some
I'm trying to like help them out. But as we start doing it, they're having a hard time seeing what I'm trying to say. You know what I'm saying? Because I have this whole thing that I'm like, we could turn you into this, and they're like, I'm just trying to make a song,
Make you a star, man.
Yeah, totally. It's too much.
How about I manage you now?
Right.
Come on now.
Overstepping immediately.
Actually,
I can make you into a star.
I know some people in Los Angeles, and if you're willing to send the lease,
Yeah. Here's this contract.
Just like
I got a
Life
360.
Boy real
I got a 360 with your name on it. Put your name at the bottom of it.
Yeah, awesome.
This one is from Brock Vignery again,
Thanks, Brock.
and it is Worst Beatle and Why Is It George Harrison?
Damn.
Worst beat. John Lennon turned into a pancake, so therefore he can no longer beat his wife. It was a really unfortunate turn of events, but
Damn.
Holy shit.
well, it's actually a very fortunate turn of events. So he's the worst Beatle because he turned into a pancake physically. It was like a horrible event.
And you know what? And I'm also, shout out Callie.
No.
I've been recently put onto the Beatles' work and George Harrison's work. George Harrison's pretty cool. Shout out George Harrison.
I'm trying to find this meme that I'm quoting about
George
John
Harrison.
Lennon being. I was trying to quote. There's a photo of John Lennon being on a pancake, and somebody captioned it. They're like, "Oh no, John Lennon got turned into a pancake. He can't beat his wife anymore."
Oh God.
horrible.
Oh, shout out
Can't beat
Ringo.
his
We
kid.
actually saw
Can't beat
Ringo
his-
last year. That was
Or
pretty
maybe it was
cool.
beat his kid. I don't know the lore. Don't quote
beat
me.
both of them.
Oh, that's terrible.
Beat his kids.
That's a good thing he got turned into a pancake then.
Yeah.
Deserving.
Not a
Yeah,
great.
family of
Not a great guy.
Yeah.
Not a great guy.
I'm sorry. It's
Imagine being a good guy, John Lennon. Wait, can't hear this. Next question we have. How do you? Okay, it's a real question. How do you feel or think your songwriting is relatable to your listeners? And that is from N. Witters.
Oh, how do I? That's a crazy question. I think that I'm not sure. I don't know if I could say how people react to it, but I definitely feel like when I've heard people compliment or like kind of put to words what they enjoy, is that there's just like this sort of like. I think I do a good job of communicating a whole picture that like including the cover art and like maybe the music video and the lyrics and the song all together, that there's like a very Xander based stylistic push that I'm doing for something. Lyrically, I think it depends, because I think some songs I have lyrics that just kind of are like there and they're like doing the job of being in the song,
yeah.
and the other songs like swing and a miss, or sort of, I think more of the stuff I'm writing now is more of like soul like attached feelings, like stuff where I'm like, I'm answering questions that I actually have deep in my heart about myself and the world around me. And so to answer that, I would say my new music, I hope, connects with people in a sense of making you feel less alone in the process of like deconstructing your life and trying to make sense of where you belong and stuff. That's very much where I was at with it.
Damn. Man, I like that answer. It's like
That's a clip type of thing. Clip that up.
Clip that, Johan.
Yeah, clip that, Johan. What do you think is kind of to play off of how you think others think of your music? What is the best criticism that you've gotten?
Like
from
something that
people?
I should like
Well, like you
critique?
showed your music to somebody and they were like, you should do this instead, and you were like, oh, that
I had a
great
meeting with
idea.
a guy who was doing sound sync, so like he has like licensing to get like your songs into like video games and movies and stuff. And the reason why he like linked with me is he was like, your music is like theatrical and like cinematic, and so like even if it's like a pop song, I feel like my approach to it is about like creating this like build of feeling into the chorus, and then the fake out in the verse, and then back to the feeling to like solidify it. And like, so I think I took that. I think I took it and ran with it too. Like I applied it a little bit harder, more intentionally, that like I do think in pictures, I do think in cinema. And so like making music that is theatrical sort of in its approach. There's a lot of stuff like on the album where it's like my voice comes in, it's like talking in your ear about like what I'm singing. Like I sing a line and then this voice like almost like comments on the line. And there's a part of it where it's like you see the two characters in the room. And
Oh yeah.
yeah.
So, what's next for Xander Sol?
Yeah. 2025 album.
Okay.
And being outside with it, like I'd love to just play shows, and I really want to like just do like the Phoenix like venues. Like I've only played like I've played like B venues, you know what I'm saying? Like where it's like I played like my college, I played like Jude's house, I played like hold on, Their Space, awesome venue, but it's not like one of the like like classic like Crescent like in terms of like having history in the city. I hope it does have history in the city.
The
one
Rebel
day.
Lounge there, bro.
Yeah, Rebel like exactly. So I'd love to do just to pass through those, even if it's opening and all that kind of stuff. I just want to get my reps in, and I had such a good time playing the songs. My set right now is like 50-50 old and new, and the new songs each time like it would come on both with like the people and just in me. I was like, oh, like this is it, like this is what I'm doing it. So I feel like once the set is just all this new stuff, and that's how it is, I feel like every artist is like, this new one's gonna do it. Yeah. 6 months later, it's like that old shit. This new one's gonna do it. But that's just where I'm at right
Constant,
now.
it's a Ferris wheel. It's
Totally.
What about visually? What do you think's next?
am doing a lot of hit me up artists, other people, business owners. I do video editing and sound design, and like both of those places are like I actually want career like movement in, especially in sound design. I've like loved the ability to work on music videos. Because it's crazy, you like almost don't know how much it's doing until you get like a music video with no sound design in it, and then the car chase scene happens, and they're like putting the chain in front of the camera, and it just looks stupid. But then I add like the shiny noise and the all that whooshy stuff, and you can watch the music video now without the song, and like it's a movie you're just watching because it's like got the full sound sphere, and I'm very like that. To me is like that's my career. Like,
Was that what you have a video that kind of starts?
With crazy stuff.
Yeah, where it starts with like a bunch of sounds and it's almost like a dialogue piece.
Also Swing and a Miss. That was just like I said, like that was such a milestone thing where it was like these
Super
lighter
engaging.
flicks and and that like even the animations, there's like a part where the people start spinning, and I use these like different phases of helicopter propeller noises to and it's just like makes it way more like it's big, like that same like Lego animation and stuff.
Yeah,
it looks cool when you just animate it, but if they all have the sound effects, you forget that you're watching it because it's just actually like engaging both parts of your brain.
Yeah, it felt like I was watching it in 2 times speed or some shit. It was all around my head.
That to me is like that's my passion. Is like the fact that with like real intentional like audio visual stuff, you make people forget like what they're doing and just actually like it goes straight to here and here first. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah. Shout out, man. Is there anything that you want to say or leave off with at all?
No, not really. Thank you for letting me be here. This was like really fun.
Thank you for
I like
being
this
here.
house. There's a beautiful property outside the campus.
Shout out my mom. My mom's house.
And take care of your inner self, because that will show more than you think. That's all. That's how I'll put it. I think it's important that we are real with one another and make friends with people who value the same things that we do, so that we have strong inner lives with people that matter to us.
Yeah.
The fake sort of stuff has got to be put to bed.
Yeah.
That's my thing.
Like, don't smoke. It's
Declaration.
A joke,
Yeah.
Put the fake shit to bed.
Put the fake shit to bed, guys. Only real from here on out.
Looking forward to see you out more as well. Doing
Yeah,
more of the
we'll
local music
we'll
stuff.
certainly pull up if
We're
you ever
always-
do stuff.
yeah,
We're
for
always
sure.
around.
For sure. Appreciate that, yeah.
Well, thank you guys for checking out the latest episode of 808s and Cold Takes. Please be sure to hit the bell and subscribe and all that shit. And for our on-camera content here on YouTube, we also are an audio podcast. We've been doing it for years, and we have like hundreds of shits out at this point. 110s. Yeah, 110s is of things out. Check it out. Spotify, Apple Music, wherever the fuck you get your audio stuff. Xander, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure talking to you. Thank you, everybody, for the support. We love the fuck out of you. And have a good night. Peace. Carlos, listen to your station.